he's considered one of Britain's greatest ever boxers for good reason. In the ring, Ricky the Hitman Hatton enjoyed more than a decade of dominance in the 2000s, earning multiple world championships throughout his career.
But that enormous success really took its toll. And after years of addiction and estrangement from his parents and other members of his family, in a brand new documentary, which goes up tomorrow night, Ricky reveals that he has finally found happiness. But it was a heck of a journey to get there, as James Goodison reports. Hi from Manchester. Good morning, Rick. It's really good to talk to you again. You and I have spoken quite a few times. And I have to say, until I got an advance copy, as did Kay, of this documentary, which goes out tomorrow, I had no idea what you'd been through. I mean, this is not just a few sort of bad days and a little bit of morning depression. I mean, you were very ill and you were seriously suicidal, weren't you?
Yeah, very much so. And but that's the thing with mental health, and especially, you know, it's hard for anyone, whether it be a lady or whether it be a man. But for a man to go to his friends, you know, and sort of like say, "I'm crying every day. I want to kill myself," you know. It was, you know, you can't do that. You know, I can't walk in my local pub and go, "Listen, lads, can I share something with you? I'm crying every day. I want to kill myself. I want to slip my wrist." You can't do it. And even my loved ones, my parents, I couldn't say it to them because I didn't want to worry them, you know, with what was going on. So I kept a lot of it in, and it made me very poorly, you know, and then obviously turned into, you know, heavily drinking and then taking drugs and, you know, suicidal. Yeah, it was a horrific, you know, after so many great years, you know, and I was so loved by the fans and, you know, the kid next door, you know, so close to my family, and that for it all to go the way it went, as you can imagine, it was an extremely tough time for me.
I mean, the success was extraordinary, extraordinary. Your success doesn't go away just because you're not in the ring, does it? It's there as an absolute triumph to be proud of. I'm sure you've thought about this a lot, and I'm sure you've opened up to therapists or whatever has helped you to finally come out and make this really brave and brilliant documentary with your family. What do you think led you into hiding? Was it... you know, the kind of grandstanding and belief in yourself that you had to put on to be that successful a fighter in a ring, did that come with a mindset that made it hard to ask for help?
Well, yeah, I always had huge self-belief in myself and my ability. But I think from day one, there was always something that, you know, that I was put in the back of my mind, you know what I mean? I used to get paranoid that... you know, I had 9 fights in my first year as a professional where I hadn't seen my mates or I hadn't seen any of my friends or anything like that, you know, and I was starting to fight on the television and stuff like that. And I started thinking, bet my mates, I've not seen my mates. I bet they think I'm getting too big for my boots. I'm going to have to see my mates. I bet they think I'm getting too big for my boots, you know, and they wasn't. My mates was as proud as punch of me. But that's a little bit of a weakness in my mind, do you know what I mean? That's I've always had that. I had confidence in me a bit. Yeah, I had confidence in my ability in that, but I was very weak, you know, in certain areas, and I'm still like that today. You know what I mean? If anybody thought I got too big for my boots, I'd be absolutely mortified.
As somebody working in Manchester at the time that you were there, I don't recall anybody ever thinking that about you at all. But listen, I want to ask you something which I would put to quite a few professional sportsmen, such as yourself, successful professional sportsmen. Do you think that one of the problems, one of the roots of all the depression and the addiction and everything else and the suicidal tendencies is because you know at the back of your mind that this career is very short-burn? I mean, most other professions and careers, whether say it's teaching or, I don't know, journalism, it's a long, hopefully slow, steady progress all the way through into the 50s and 60s. But in something like what you did, it's going to be over by the time you're in your early 30s. Is that part of the problem, a sense that this is very brief, only for now, and inevitably will end in failure? In the end, you're going to get beat.
Yeah, well, you know, in the end, you're probably going to get beat, but in the end, it is going to come to the end. And what people don't realise, I think, for a sportsman, or in particular a boxer, when you've had 60,000 fans at the City of Manchester Stadium, you know, singing "There's Only One Ricky Hatton," you know, you've got 40,000 fans that you took over to Vegas to fight Floyd Mayweather, you know. I won the world title in Manchester in front of my whole crowd, in front of 20,000 people at the Manchester Arena. when you've experienced that, there's no drug better than that, you know, and you don't share it with 11 teammates. You know, it sounds selfish on me. All that, you know, adulation is on yourself. And then once you've experienced, you know, that high and that, you know, that rush, and then all of a sudden when it's gone, and you think to myself, what am I going to do with the rest of my life here now? You know, I'm never going to hear that. I'm never going to experience that again. And then things went on with my personal life as well, falling out with my family and fell out with my trainer and then split up with my missus. All them things, no boxing, no missus, no mum and dad, no trainer, no Billy Graham. All them things come at once. It doesn't need me to tell you how you can imagine how it affected me. It was really shocking. Bearing in mind that I've always been, it was well documented, I was always close to my family. I was the kid next door, wasn't I? You know, and then for all to have so many good times and then it go like that, it was horrific. I think horrific is not a big enough word I can use.
No. How did you turn yourself around in the end? What was the way to do it?
Well, I realised that I couldn't do it on my own. I had my first daughter, Millie, was born. She wasn't planned, and I thought to myself, "Oh, this is something from God. This another baby that wasn't planned. That is going to make me, you know, say, come on, Ricky, pull yourself together. It's not about you. It's about your family and your kids now." And I thought that was going to do it. And unbelievably, I feel embarrassed to say, even Millie being born couldn't do it. And I thought to myself, listen, Rick, you know, you can't do this on your own. It doesn't matter what you do in that boxing ring. Even having a lovely little baby girl being born, you can't do it. You can't do it. So you've got to go and speak to someone and got it off your chest. And I went into went to saw a psychiatrist, and I opened the door, just fell on my knees. I said, you need to help me. You need to help me. I'm going to kill myself. I won't be here next week. I can't do it. You need to tell me what to do today. Otherwise, I'm not going to be here.
Well, thank God you did.
And I spoke to him, and I got my little routine. Absolutely. I got my little
routine
in
did,
place.
Ricky.
And,
Thank God you did. Just very quickly, because, you know, as always, we're out of time. Got to wrap this up. But in a sentence, we've watched the documentary. It's incredible. It's going out tomorrow night on Sky at 9 o'clock. Have you watched it? Have you seen it?
I have watched it. It's one of the best things I've done, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, lifting world title belts and going to Las Vegas goes without saying. But I mean, that apart, this is the best thing that I've done, and I think it's helped me. It's put closure on my life. I'm in I've had good times, bad times, and I'm in the best place I've ever been in my life now. You know what I mean? And some of the things I would have missed out on. If I had took my life, I feel very, very blessed that I didn't. And if people in my position can take something from this documentary, it will be well worth it.
Well, good for you, mate.
Well, they will do, not least your bravery in speaking out, and your name and your words mean a lot. And so it's been fantastic to talk to you this morning.
You're a tour de force,
and the honesty is fantastic.
I hope everyone enjoys it, really do.
I'm sure they will. It's great to see you, mate, and it's good to see you looking and sounding so well. You look and sound great, actually.